Welcome back to Remote Work Essentials. I'm James. We're halfway through the course. So far, we've talked about all the practical skills you need for remote work. But here's what nobody warned you about. Remote work can completely erase the line between work and personal life. And if you don't protect that boundary deliberately, you will burn out. I promise you. Let's talk about how to actually stop working when your office is 10 feet from your bedroom. Here's what makes boundaries so hard when you work from home. Your office is also your living room. Your work laptop is always right there. Your coworkers can message you at 9 p.m. and you'll see it. There's no commute to decompress and transition between, like your work mode and your home mode. And because nobody can see you working, you feel like you need to prove that you're working. So you check email while making breakfast. You take calls during lunch. You respond to Slack on weekends. You work evenings just to catch up. Before you know it, you're working way more hours than you ever did in the office, and you're exhausted. The paradox is this: remote work offers incredible flexibility and freedom, but only if you set boundaries. Without boundaries, remote work becomes a prison where you never actually leave the office. So let's build those boundaries, starting with the most important one: when you work and when you don't. In episode 5, we talked a little bit about rituals. Now we're going to go deeper, because rituals are how you create boundaries when there's no physical separation. Your morning commute. You need something that signals to your brain: work is starting now. This could be making coffee in your work mug. Might be different from your weekend mug. It could be taking a 10-minute walk around the block. It could be changing out of your pajamas into your work clothes. It's totally fine if it's just into comfortable pants. That's not a problem. It could be opening specific apps or playlists. We talked about this a little bit last time. The things that you use only during work. Sitting down at your desk and reviewing your calendar is also a good way to set the framing. The specific action doesn't actually matter. What matters here is consistency. It's the same thing every day at roughly the same time. Your end of day shutdown. This is even more important. You need a ritual that says, work is over, I'm done. Some ideas. You could write down tomorrow's top 3 tasks. You can close your laptop and physically put it away, like in a drawer, a bag, or even another room. You can turn off your desk lamp. You could change clothes again, right? Out of work clothes into your evening clothes. You could take another walk. You could say out loud, I'm done for the day. You could leave your workspace and you can close the door if you have the ability to do that. Again, consistency is the key. Do the same thing every time. At 5 p.m., or whatever your end time is, you do the shutdown ritual. Then you're off. Why this works. Rituals create a psychological boundary when there's no physical one. Your brain starts to associate the ritual with the transition. After a few weeks, just starting the shutdown ritual will actually help you mentally disconnect from work. Without this, you will find yourself checking email at 8 p.m. just in case, because you never actually ended the workday. You just stopped for a while. You need defined working hours, not suggested hours, not flexible hours. Actual start and end times. Decide your schedule. When do you work? Write it down. For most people, it's something like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But maybe you're a morning person and you prefer 7 a.m. Or you're a night owl and you want to start at 11 a.m. The specific hours matter a lot less than having them defined and sticking to them. Communicate your hours. Put your working hours in your email signature, your Slack profile, your calendar. Just make it visible. I'm available 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. For true emergencies, call my cell. This sets expectations. People know when they can reach you and when they can't. Stick to your hours. This is the hard part. At 5 p.m., you stop, even if there's more work to do. Even if someone just sent you a message. Even if you feel like you should do just one more thing. You stop. You do your shutdown ritual. You're done. The work will be there tomorrow. It always is. Flexibility within boundaries. Yes, sometimes you need to work late for a deadline. Sometimes you need to take a morning off for an appointment, or maybe work a bit later to make up for it. That's fine. Flexibility is one of the benefits of remote work. But these things should be exceptions, not the norm. If you're regularly working outside your hours, something's wrong. Either you have too much work, talk to your manager, or you haven't set boundaries. That one's on you. The emergency protocol. Define what counts as an emergency. For most people, true emergencies are rare. A production outage, emergency. A customer crisis, emergency. Someone asking about next week's project deadline at 7 p.m., not an emergency. Tell your team, if it's a true emergency, call my cell. Otherwise, I'll respond during work hours. Then, actually don't respond outside of work hours unless they call. Your phone and computer are probably interrupting you constantly. Let's fix that. Turn off work notifications outside of work hours. Slack, email, Teams, whatever you use, set a do not disturb schedule. In Slack, set a notification schedule. For example, notifications only come in between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. on weekdays. On your phone, turn off work email notifications entirely, or set up focus modes that disable them outside of work hours. On your computer, you can close the work apps at the end of the day. Don't leave them open in the background. The temptation to check. You're going to want to check. You'll think, I'll just see if anything urgent came up. Don't. That's not a boundary. That's anxiety. And if it's truly urgent, someone will call you. Otherwise, it can wait until tomorrow. Scheduled send. If you're working and thinking of things to send later, use scheduled send. Most email and Slack allow this. Like, you can write the message now, schedule it to send tomorrow at 9 a.m. This way, you're not training people to expect responses from you at 10 p.m. You're protecting both your boundaries and your teams. Airplane mode. On weekends, consider putting your work phone into airplane mode or leaving it in a drawer. Out of sight, out of mind. You are not available 24/7. You shouldn't be. Let's talk about physical space and mental separation. If you have a dedicated workspace, when you're done working, you leave the room. You close the door. Don't go back in there until tomorrow. That room is for work. The rest of your home is for living. If you catch yourself thinking about work in the evening, remind yourself, I've left the office. Work is in that room. I'm not in that room. If you don't have a separate room, you need to create separation in other ways. So close your laptop, put it in a drawer or a cabinet, cover your desk with a cloth. Turn your desk chair around so that it faces away. Move to a completely different room for the evening when possible. And pack up your work stuff in a bag at the end of the day. All of these are to accomplish the goal that reminds you, work ends, my workspace disappears from view. Again, out of sight, out of mind. Your bedroom. If at all possible, do not work in your bedroom. Your bedroom is for sleep. If you work there, your brain will begin to associate even your bed, whether you work in it or not, with work stress. This can ruin your sleep quality. If you absolutely have to work in your bedroom, at least try to work from a specific place or desk that's not your bed. Really, really try not to ever work from your bed. Mental boundaries. Physical boundaries help, but you also need mental discipline. When work thoughts pop up in the evening, and they will, acknowledge them and then let them go. That's a work thought. I'll deal with it tomorrow. Keep a notepad by your bed. If you think of something important at night, write it down so you don't forget. Then let it go. You've captured it. You'll handle it tomorrow. Take real breaks. Lunch is not eating while you work. Step away from your desk. Eat actual food. Look at something that is not a screen. Go outside if you can. Your brain needs these breaks. Your productivity depends on this rest. If you live with other people, you're going to need to communicate your boundaries. With partners or roommates, have a conversation. When I'm in work mode, I really need to be treated like I'm at the office. Please don't interrupt me unless it's really important. Define what important means. Is the house on fire? That's important. Can you help with dinner prep? Not important right now. Ask me when I'm done working. Visual signals. Use signals that people can see. A closed door means do not disturb. Headphones on? I'm in a meeting or I'm in deep work. Desk lamp on? I'm working. Sign on your door. Call back at 2 p.m. Make it easy for the others to know your status without interrupting you. Kids at home. This one's harder. Young kids don't understand the idea of mom's working. I'll also put a disclaimer in this section. I don't have kids, so parents out there, share some tips that you've learned in the comments. If you have kids, try to have childcare during work hours where it's possible. Set expectations, like, I have a meeting at 10. I'm going to need you to be quiet during that time. Have a visual timer that people can see. Like, when the timer goes off, I'm done, and then we can play. Accept that some interruptions just will happen. Try to build in buffer time. The interruption inevitability. Even with boundaries, life happens. The dog barks, the doorbell rings, your kid has an emergency. It's okay. Apologize briefly in the meeting, handle it, and move on. Everyone understands. What's not okay is letting those interruptions become constant because you haven't set any boundaries outside of your workspace. Take your vacation days, all of them. When you take time off, actually take it off. Out of office message on, laptop is closed and off, Slack off. Do not check email just once. On vacation, you're not off if you're working. If you can't fully disconnect because of your role, set specific check-in times. I'll check email once a day at 10 a.m. for urgent items. Then stick to it. Your time off is not optional. It's essential. Burnout is real and it is not worth it. When you come back, give yourself a buffer day if you can. Don't schedule big meetings for your first day back. Use it to catch up and ease back in. Here's your action item. Pick one boundary to implement this week. Just one. Maybe it's a shutdown ritual. Maybe it's turning off Slack notifications after 6 p.m. Maybe it's having a conversation with your family about interruptions. Pick one. Do it for a week. See how it feels. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Boundaries are not selfish, they're survival. Next episode, we're going to talk about career advancement, how to stay visible and grow professionally when you're remote. I'll see you then.